Parker Schnabel, once hailed as the teenage prodigy of Discovery's GoldRush, has now found himself in the eye of a storm. From striking gold in the frozen wilderness to building an empire worth millions, Parker was a household name in mining by the time most people are just graduating college. By 24, he had pulled over $13 million in gold from the earth. And in Season 14 alone, his operation raked in a staggering $24 million. But what looked like the peak of his career quickly spiraled into what could be the beginning of his fall. In Season 15, Parker set his sights on a jaw-dropping goal: extracting 10,000 ounces of gold. To do it, he made one of the boldest moves of his career, investing $2.5 million into two high-risk but historically gold-rich claims, Gold Run and Sulphur Creek. These weren't just any plots. These sites had a legendary reputation, once believed, to hold billions in gold. But they also came with massive environmental risks, and Parker knew the clock was ticking. To kick things off, Parker pushed his crew harder than ever before. His largest wash plant, Bob, had to be hauled more than 25 miles, a mission so intense it came with a brutal 10-hour deadline. And despite the odds, Bob delivered, pulling in over $600,000 in gold within just a few days. Parker looked unstoppable, but behind the scenes, the cracks were starting to show. As the crew dug deeper, trouble began brewing. Big Red, Parker's longtime and dependable wash plant, finally gave out after more than 12 seasons in operation. With only Bob and rock sand running, Parker's margin for error grew razor thin. Still determined, he pressed on. But then came the blow no one saw coming: legal trouble. In his rush to expand operations at Sulphur Creek, Parker had cut corners. Environmental review processes were skipped, permits were unclear, and concerns about old fuel tanks and protected waterways started to surface. Things escalated fast. Government agencies launched investigations, subpoenas were filed, and soon federal charges were on the table. The accusations were serious: illegal dredging, disturbing protected streams, and improper waste disposal. Prosecutors unveiled evidence of falsified inspection reports and ignored environmental warnings. It wasn't just carelessness. They claimed it was willful misconduct. Emails showed Parker allegedly telling his crew to ignore regulations. A former crew member even testified that Parker knowingly broke the rules in order to hit his gold target. Court proceedings were tense. Though the word prison was never officially mentioned, Parker's silence was deafening. He quietly disappeared from the spotlight, leaving fans in the industry wondering what really happened behind the scenes. Rumors swirled, but updates were few and far between. What makes this fall so tragic is Parker's original motivation. He wasn't the type to blow money on flashy cars or million-dollar homes. His focus was always on legacy, building something meaningful for his family, friends, and future. But now, that legacy is hanging by a thread. Season 15 was supposed to be Parker's breakout comeback, a chance to prove he could take his empire to the next level. Instead, it became a nightmare. Equipment failures, legal drama, and broken relationships all collided. Even the $16 million he had earned was now frozen in legal disputes. His crew scattered, his base of operations shook, and his vision for the future dimmed. His $15 million gamble on Dominion Creek, a claim thought to contain over $160 million in untapped gold, seemed brilliant at first, but time was running out. The mining permits had just 6 years left, and every delay meant potentially losing everything. Despite the mounting pressure, Parker kept pushing, making deals to secure more land, hoping to turn things around. But the more he expanded, the more everything started to unravel. Behind the scenes, Parker's once solid partnerships began to crumble. Tensions flared with longtime allies like Rick Ness and Tony Beets. And while the public still saw a determined young miner, the internal pressure was relentless. Keeping the empire running was becoming too much, and soon it all came crashing down. Now the big question remains: what's next for Parker Schnabel? His empire is in limbo, his future uncertain, and the legacy he worked so hard to build, it's teetering on the edge. One thing is clear: Season 15 didn't just test Parker's grit. It may have rewritten the final chapter of his gold mining saga. For more exclusive updates on Parker Schnabel and the biggest stories in Hollywood and beyond, make sure you smash that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and join us here at Starloop News, where we bring the drama, the truth, and the headlines that keep you hooked. Until next time, stay curious and stay gold.